This is my iPad Pro, and it seems to be harmless enough, just sitting there. But since its most recent software update, it's been behaving in a way that brings to mind the contents from WikiLeaks and the Vault 7 CIA leak, namely that both blackmail, cooperation, and hacking have let intelligence agencies penetrate many of the devices, often at the factory. And what's interesting is two things. So the first thing I noticed was that I would go into I would turn off Wi-Fi, and I would come back, and the Wi-Fi was on. So that was interesting. So I turn off the Wi-Fi turns itself back on. Then I used airplane mode, which seems like a safe enough secondary thing. So I turned on airplane mode rather than turning off the Wi-Fi, and I came back and it was on. And keep in mind, this is in an empty house other than myself, so we're not dealing with children and people having access to this room. So then I turned the power off, and I'm making this video right now because Apple has this thing where you press the button hard on the left, and then you wait, and then the power button comes in, and you slide the power off. And this is what I'm testing this time, because I did this after the last session last week, which was a Skype call, and I turned the power off. And so I turned the power off again, and within 10 to 20 seconds, the power went back on again. So what this is saying is that there is, that Apple has colluded to such an extent with whatever programs, either leaving back doors open, in some of the Vault 7 files from WikiLeaks. Apple was actually putting hardwired switches that bypassed the power key, so it could turn itself back on. And so if you turn the power all the way off and slide it to go completely off, and then it restarts on its own with no one touching the power button, and then turns on and turns the Wi-Fi on, thus becoming an active camera. This is pretty inconceivable for a device that was supposedly engineered with public interest in mind, but it is perfectly consistent with the idea of various intelligence agencies trying to infiltrate the world in one way or another with the most effective intelligence you can possibly have, which is video and audio from homes all across the planet.